Okay, welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with Dr. Eric Lopkin. And Dr. Lopkin, I guess, not earth-shattering, but I think we just need to kind of just address the funding deal, including the 1 point something billion for the wall, winners and losers, or winner and loser.
I don't know that there's any winners or losers in this one. I think the fact that they're going to avoid a shutdown is a win for both sides. Trump has already said that if he signs this, he's going to go around Congress to get the rest of the funding. So he's still planning on declaring an emergency and getting the rest of his funding that way. So Congress didn't stop him from building the wall.
Yeah, I think he would have been better served to take the 1.6 billion, 4 billion, whatever it is, start building the wall, and then use funding within just the government, not declaring an emergency, but at least continue. I think he is in a good position right now. I think the economy is doing well. I know the jobs number went up, but not by much. You agreed?
Yeah. Oh, but he's still in a very good position.
So why blow it?
Since the State of the Union, he's actually got a 52% approval rate across the board.
And it's higher than that because there is the I don't like Trump factor, which it's got to be 2 or 3%. So I'd say it's about 55%, which is quite good. Comparatively.
Probably. And I think one of the things that was important to note is that after the State of the Union, his approval among independents for that speech was 82%.
Yeah, no, I really strongly believe that he probably shouldn't. He doesn't need. I know he can't help himself. He doesn't need any more controversy. He starts building the wall. We're going into 2020. I think just leave well enough alone. Put some extra funds maybe towards it. You know, I think we're good. I think with 1 point something million, it's enough to start building the wall for up close to the election. I don't think he needs any more drama. And when compared to the Democratic Party, like I saw the excerpt from Omar interrogating Abrams, who was going for an ambassadorship or whatever, it was like a third world country. I mean, Cortez and her and others are really seriously off the hook.
Yeah, and the level of anti-Semitism that these new Democratic representatives are bringing is appalling.
It's appalling, and I believe it's disgusting that the Democratic leadership, especially people like Schumer and Blumenthal, and also Bernie Sanders, how disgusting. He was endorsing this guy. He hasn't said a peep. He's just an opportunistic political hack.
It is ridiculous. The only one that has, well, a lot of representatives and senators have made statements against it. The only one that actually approached these folks, telling them, no, what you're doing is wrong and we're not going to put up with it, is Nancy Pelosi.
Because she has to, because I read a really good analysis of the current Democratic Party. It's a conglomeration of people that really don't have, and interest groups that really don't have much in common except the common enemy. Okay, so it's like it's like a coalition, and once that initiative, the new Democrats, the Young Turks, are totally anti-Israeli, which, okay, you have a right to be, but also anti-Semitic. This Omar person is an anti-Semite. Cortez is an anti-Semite. And they are the ugly truth of the Democratic Party. They can dress it up. They can say, oh, no, it's the Democratic Party of the 1960s. It's hardly that. And I question any Jewish American that would swear their allegiance to the Democratic Party. I find it troubling, and it's also rampant on college campuses because of the new left.
Oh, yeah. It's in my lifetime, I have never seen it this bad.
Mm-hmm. I think it's actually dangerous, and it is, and any Democrat, Jewish Democrat, the old line would be, yeah, the conservatives are racist. You have to literally be sleeping at the switch. You need to pay attention to this. This is dangerous. This is real. And it's Pelosi. She's doing it for political expedience because she doesn't want that ugly, festering wound to come out. And shame on the media for not exposing it. Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, they've decided rather they want to focus on what's going on in Virginia, which is, these guys were found with photos of people in blackface in their yearbooks 30 years ago.
Yeah, but they're not even focusing on it as much as they should. They've given the free pass. There is no free press. It's all about taking down Donald Trump, who represents an outsider that is basically showing the traditional entrenched establishment as 100% inept, which they have been over the last 70 years. Correct or not, Dr. Lopkin?
Yes. It's funny. I was noticing, everybody's talking about Trump as a hate monger and a racist. And I can't help but notice that he is actually, so far, the first president that has not sent troops to a new location overseas since Carter.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's another thing. Proving the defense establishment intelligentsia ever since Vietnam, they've never gotten it right. Have they ever gotten it right, Dr. Lopkin?
No, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact
why
that
should we ever be in Syria and all these other places? It's ridiculous.
The fact that someone can come in from the outside and show them that, look, what you have been doing does not work. What you've been doing on the left doesn't work. What you've been doing on the right doesn't work. These guys can't handle that. They've invested their lives in this bull system.
It's more than lives. People are getting rich on our backs. And that's how it's been for 70 years since World War II. And that's why they need to get this guy out of it. Now, you talk about the senatorial hearing. What about that, Dr. Lopkin?
Well, the Senate Intelligence Committee decided that after 2 years and 200 interviews, both the Republicans and the Democrats on the committee agreed that there was absolutely no evidence that Trump colluded with the Russians.
Okay, that's fine and dandy, but how did this thing ever happen? Okay, this is really dangerous and an assault on our democracy. There was no crime. There was no nothing. It was basically a coup attempt. You can sugarcoat it any way you want, but that's what it was.
And it's still going on. I mean, Mueller hasn't stopped his investigation. The House Democrats are reviving investigations that they had closed already, all because they don't like Trump and couldn't beat him in a fair election.
And they're not going to beat him, and that's just a simple fact of life. The only good part of this all, Dr. Lopkin, is that when Trump beats look at the lineup. My God, Cory Booker.
We're not talking about an A-list lineup that is coming out to.
It's absolutely horrible, and they do stand in the green so-called revolution. When they lose to Trump, and also the Republicans retake Congress, I believe that the Democratic Party, just like the Republicans had to do in the 70s, will have to go out into the woods and reformulate themselves. What they come back as, I don't know. But what they have right now, I've been around the block, is not a winning strategy. What they currently have does not play in Peoria.
No, it doesn't. And they have lost the middle of America. And honestly, I think the only way they're going to get it back is actually to revert the party to what it was in the 60s, which was very social.
I don't know if that's capable.
I don't know if it's possible.
I don't think they're capable of it. I think they've been hijacked by a bunch of, it's not just one or two. It's a whole underpinnings of the party is based on essentially insanity. When you have Chris Murphy saying the Green Initiative, whatever the heck you want to call it, is like the moon landing. The Moon Initiative. Okay. Not good.
The Green New Deal is a bad joke.
No, it's good for
even Nancy Pelosi came out and said, "This is a suggestion, whatever they're calling it." It's
that's how you couch it. That's marketing. It's a suggestion. The bottom line, it was a real proposal. That's what they're really thinking. There's no way to run around it. And when you have Nancy
it's
Pelosi
a real
being, wait, hold
it's
on.
a real proposal, but they're not going to get anywhere with it.
I got that. That's obvious, Dr. Lopkin. The point is, when Nancy Pelosi is the voice of reason, you got a problem.
Yes.
So that is another edition of Carnivore Bites. Like I said, very amusing to me, very interesting, because I think I've seen it all, but nothing like I've seen in terms of the transformation of the Democratic Party. I think it does play with some younger people, but I don't see it going forward. But we'll see what happens next week, Dr. Lopkin.
Yes, we will.
Until then, take care.
You've been listening to Carnivore Radio's podcast. You can catch us here every week. Carnivore Radio is part of the Xvadio podcast network. You can listen to the podcast at blogtalkradio.com/Xvadio. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can listen to us live every Friday at 4 o'clock on WESU 88.1 Middletown, Connecticut. You can also catch us online at WESUFM.org. We look forward to hearing from you, and see you next week.
There, bye.